And welcome back. Now we're gonna go and talk to Cullen, see how he's faring.
The Order has been through much.
The Order brought it on itself. I'd be perfectly happy never again setting foot in the Winter Palace. It wasn't the gossip and backstabbing, I know what the game entails, but the indifference to it all.
We ended the stalemate. That's what matters.
In the Winter Palace, the clerics in Val Royeaux were still arguing over who should be divine. Chantry politics may involve less spectacle, but they're just as heated. Gaspard rules a country. The divine influences half a continent.
May I ask you something?
Of course.
Do you think Templars should cease to exist?
No. I may have chosen to lead that life, but I respect those who remain. Magic ungoverned could tear the world apart. It's doing so now. Templar trained and able to confront such dangers.
What would you suggest?
Some call the Circle a prison that can only breed resentment. Perhaps opportunities to work outside the Circle. A mixed military service or healers' clinics with Templar support. And there must be a safer way for Templars to leave. Templars can lose their memories to lyrium. Some call it a gift, to forget the failed harrowings, the demons. Some atrocities haunt me still. But to lose what good I can recall, I nearly lost my mind once. It is no gift.
Do you think that could work? Would people accept it?
Mages would be watched, but could pursue interests outside the Circle. Neither freedom nor prison. I don't know.
You still regret the man you became after leaving Ferelden?
After the Ferelden Circle, I thought all mages were like the ones there. Knight Commander Meredith's methods were harsh, but they kept people safe.
You've said Meredith was unstable.
She was my Knight Commander. I had no reason to distrust her. She wasn't wrong about the Blood Mages in Kirkwall. Meredith encouraged my anger towards the mages. There was only so far I would go, and she knew that too. I was her second in command. She kept decisions from me, those I would question. I believed she was serving the city. I never thought to question her, not until it was too late.
You can't control everything. You stood up to her in the end.
If I hadn't, would I be like her now? I wanted mages locked away as much as she did. I trusted they were treated reasonably well, but I should have done more. I should have looked into it. It's not yet enough. The Inquisition is my chance to atone. I will see it through.
The Inquisition won't last forever. What will you do when this is over?
To be honest, I hadn't given it much thought until recently. I'm not having so many possibilities.
You've mentioned siblings. With everything that's happening, do you know if they're all right?
I've received word from my eldest sister. She was always good at tracking me down. South Reach has experienced the same chaos as everywhere else. My family is fine. Pray they remain so.
Your sister tracked you down? She didn't know where you were?
I let her know I was in Haven. She assumed I survived. It's not the first time. I may have neglected to tell her when I was transferred to Kirkwall.
Why?
I wasn't in a good state. I wanted only to leave. I received an angry letter about my disappearance 2 years later. For all her reprimands, it was a relief to hear from someone who knew me before the Blight.
That's all I wanted to know.
I'm sure you have other matters to attend.
Blackwall really does not like us killing Celine, so...
War in Olay has claimed too many lives. I pray that it's over for good.
You seem to have a problem with me.
I don't like you. It's as simple as that. Now that that's out in the open, let's just get on with our work. There are more things at stake here than my personal opinions of you.
Nothing right now. Perhaps in a bit.
We're really no longer on his favorite people list. Let's catch up with Krem and Iron Bull.
Your worship?
Can we talk about the Bull's Chargers?
Certainly. What can I tell you?
Have you had any other interesting jobs?
Had one noble whose rival had been told by a fortune teller that her death would come on feathered wings. The noble sent us after the rival. Not assassination, legal and everything, but we had to wear feathers. We sewed them into shirts over our armor. Should have seen the chief, all feathered up like the cock of the walk. Ended up retreating after all that. The rival choked to death a year later on a chicken bone.
We'll talk later.
Ah! Come on, Krem. I'm working my ass off trying to get you to see that move.
You still got plenty of arse left, Chief. Your worship.
Glad you came by. I got a letter from my contacts in the Ben Hasrath. Already verified it with Red.
You want to discuss this alone?
Not like I was hiding it from my boys. Besides, right now, I need to hit something.
You know they've got training dummies, Chief.
The training dummy might actually defend itself against the shield bash. Anyway, the Ben Hasrath letter.
I was willing to let you send reports, if the Qunari are making demands.
Just hear it out, boss. The Ben Hasrath have been reading my reports. They don't like Corypheus or his Venatori. And they really don't like Red Lyrium. They're ready to work with us. With you, boss. The Qunari and the Inquisition, joining forces.
That would be an unprecedented offer, if I believed it was legitimate, which I don't.
Now, ordinarily that would be the way to go, but they've identified themselves. They're not running a game on you. They found a massive Red Lyrium shipping operation out on the coast.
They wanted us to hit it together. Talked about bringing in one of their dreadnoughts. Always wanted to see one of those big war ships in action.
Did you see that? Go get some water. They're worried about tipping the smugglers, so no army. My chargers, you, maybe some backup.
What does this alliance really get us?
They wouldn't use the word alliance if they didn't mean it. Naval power. More Ben Hasrath reports. Qunari soldiers pointed at the Venatori. It could do a lot of good.
You don't seem entirely happy about this.
No, I'm good. It's... I'm used to them being over there. It's been a while.
I thought Qunari wanted to extend their reach to the whole world.
Yeah. Just didn't think I'd see it. Look, the Qun answers a lot of questions. It's a good life for a lot of people. But it's a big change, and a lot of folks here wouldn't do so well under that kind of life. I guess it's not like we're converting. This is just us joining forces against Corypheus. On that front, I think we're good.
I think the Inquisition could use some help from the Qunari.
Good. I'll pass on word to Cullen and Red. We can set up the meeting whenever you're ready.
An important thing to note, always save this for after you've rescued Sutherland. If you go to the Storm Coast to try and rescue Sutherland and you have the Iron Bull personal quest, it'll screw up the Sutherland quest.
Done.
Now we can go try to talk to our lady love, who will be being confronted by the Chantry Mother about possibly becoming the Divine. Which we don't want, because that will take her away from us.
Will you not consider it, Lady Cassandra? The clerics are still sequestered. If no one steps forward, they will debate until...
And you think I could make them agree? I've heard enough for one day, Mother Giselle.
Talk to her, your worship.
What's going on now?
I assume you've heard that Leliana and I are both candidates to be the next Divine. Because of what happened at Halam Shiral, of course, the Empire favors you. Thus, everyone close to you. So now the Chantry bandies our names about without even asking us first.
How can you and Liliana be candidates? You're not even priests.
It's not without precedent. Amar III was sister to the Emperor, and Galatea a commoner. Leliana and I were, at least, part of the Chantry hierarchy. It would be accepted.
If you don't want it, then tell them so.
Surely it was never meant to be like this. The Chantry, the Circle of Magi, the Templars. This cannot be what they intended when it all began. The Chantry should provide faith, hope. Instead, it cannot veer from its course, even in the face of certain death.
I'm surprised to hear you, of all people, say that.
Oh? Am I not the same woman who declared the Inquisition against the Chantry's wishes? In all my years as a Seeker, I did what I was told. My faith demanded it. But now my faith demands something else. That I see with better eyes.
Many extraordinary things have happened to get us to this point.
I'm not so certain. I think it has been a long time coming. Did you know Varric is Andrastian? Oh, he blasphemes with every second breath, but deep down he believes. His heart is virtuous. But he would never step foot in a Chantry. It should be the first place to which the virtuous turn. It needs to change. Perhaps I must be the one to change it.
You're not the only candidate. What about Liliana?
Liliana says she wishes to follow Justinia's legacy. But she and I remember a different person. Justinia knew her fellow clerics and the people would only accept so much change. Liliana would cast it all aside and start over, I think. And that would be chaos for us all.
What would you change about the Chantry?
The Circle of Magi has its place, but it needs reform. Let the mages govern themselves with our help. Let the Templars stand not as the jailers of mages, but as protectors of the innocent. We must be vigilant, but we must also be compassionate to all peoples of Thedas, human or no. That is what I would change.
Your determination is admirable.
Some men would call it an unattractive trait.
I'm not those men.
Truer words have not been spoken.
Who's using flattery now? So this is your new crusade?
I've agreed to nothing yet.
And if the Chantry calls on you?
Then I will do whatever I can, for as long as I can. I suppose I should not be so concerned. The clerics speak my name for now, nothing more. For now, restoring order and stopping Corypheus remain our priority.
Oh, my maker, you cannot imagine how many letters I've received about the fracas at Halam Shiral. Fortunately, you tied twice as many threads as cut, although it is yet bewildering at the center.
How's it going? Do we have what we need?
With Skyhold shining like a beacon? You name it, it's here or on the way. I've wrung out the slackers, given them what for. I think I like this job.
There are problems coming out of Halam Shiral?
There are always problems from Halam Shiral. We've lost a few contracts, but more than made up for it. Although, if a few commendations were given, it might retie some severed threads. I couldn't suggest how. That is better decided at your war table, and I'm not going near that thing.
As you were.
We are here for you, Inquisitor.
We've also collected enough stuff that we get to upgrade the courtyard. This is a cosmetic change, so you just make it whatever the hell you feel is in keeping with your character. since our character is a more martially minded character, we're going to make it a place to train.
Anything you need?
We left in a hurry, but you got into your old place. Save anything?
Family hammer. It's as stupid as it sounds. It's good to be back at work.
You've got it all up and running?
Your basics, like always. There's space here for I don't know what. This place was built for something big. It'll be a job to fill it.
How is this place shaping up as a forge?
Better than Haven ever could be. Not the way I wanted an upgrade, but ever forward.
Any thoughts about our new tenant?
You sure she doesn't own the place? Acts like it.
No offense, it needed work.
And fine work she's done to it. And for you. Don't mind me. Been a lot of change lately. Cheery as sugared flowers she is.
I'll be back later.
I'll be here.
We're almost done with our companions. We just need to talk to Sarah and Cole.
One for the Empress, for Gaspard, Brianna, the Duchess, and Caritas. Right in the dangle bag.
All right, you're clearly annoyed. What can I do?
You're doing fine. It's the dead piled up in Halam Shiral that's nagging at me. A cook here, a footman there. What's it matter, right, so long as there's a book for the throne? And a total arse, too. I thought Gaspard was tired of that game, but he settled in real easy. Ugh, that place. Should have just thrown in some bees and slammed the doors.
And that would accomplish what exactly?
Stinging around the face and neck? Can't assassinate empresses if your eyes swell shut. I don't know. But I'm just trying to get this junk out of my head. These people, they're the worst. Ugh, you know the most important thing I got out of all of that mess? The one thing. Don't sleep with empresses. That's what that was all about. That, and Briala being an idiot. The whole thing would have gone different if that little piss-up wasn't in the middle.
That was a mistake on their part. It made everything worse.
Wrong way around, Inquisitor. It started worse. Lots of people died before there was a hole in the sky. That's who you're saving. If you get a chance, maybe remind them not to be idiots. Ready for waiting.
I'll be back if I need you.
Go on.
I didn't understand the Grand Ball. It would have been easier if they said what they wanted.
That would have made everything much simpler.
The colors were pretty, though.
I'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Now, as part of our general questing, we are heading for the Hissing Wastes, where the Venatori have some slave camps. Lovely. And there are some interesting ruins, if anyone remembers from the last playthroughs.
Are their soldiers ready?
As ready as they can be. We're asking a lot of them.
Any luck charting the area?
I did what I could, Your Worship. This space has nothing but space. If there's nothing valuable here, I say let Corypheus have it.
What did you find?
Dwarven ruins. On the surface. Like they'd been built up here. Which should be impossible. The Venatori are excavating them. With the help of their slaves.
Whatever they want, we must beat them to it.
I just saw Venatori northwest of here. They might be a good start. I found this map on a dead one. Maybe it shows where they're headed. Good luck.
I've news, sir.
What is it?
See for yourself, sir.
There's really not a lot out here in terms of scenery. It's all nighttime, all the time, and it's all sands and dunes, with a few rock mountains and some dwarven ruins. And that's really about it. You would kind of think that that would make it easier to navigate in here, and yet somehow I find this to be one of the more confusing of the maps.
That is a whole lot of nothing.
Are those lights in the distance? They may be campfires.
Let's have a look.
We have found a random book in which someone wrote about dwarven ruins that have been built on the surface. Since the entire thing with dwarves is that you can't see the sky or you lose your caste, this is kind of a big deal. This is our first Venatori camp that we're going to be attacking. Let's clear it out real fast. There we go. Now we can loot the bodies, run up and claim this camp for ourselves. Brava. Now there's several journal entries and papers around here somewhere. There we go. Some notes. Letters. Heading into the ruin itself. Each one of these is a puzzle that you have to put together in the right order. And I decided to look at the stalactite up there. Those are the directions. Each pillar has a little bit of a story, and you have to light the torches so that the story is in the correct order. And this is what happens if you do it in the wrong order. For some reason, Dorian decided to be annoying. I ran up and for some reason thought that I needed to light one right away to get a torch to light them. There we go. Now we'll get them in the right order. Number 3. So by process of elimination... There we go.
Burial chamber, I think.
We head in here. And there's loots! And a new puzzle. Yay, loots! And directions to another tomb. We're gonna call it here, throwing in some war table stuff at the end. This is one of the things that you only get if you put Gaspard on the throne. It's an invitation from the Emperor to recruit some of the best chevaliers.
All right.
And of course, that went smashingly. This is our last mission with Sutherland, and of course, they exceed our expectations. Now we're also going to begin the dance with the Dowager, and we'll see how that turns out. Catch you guys later.
Inquisitor.